How's it going today, y'all? SSJP96 Customs here. So I just wanted to show off. This is a Dragon Stars version 2 figure I wanted to show y'all. Because I just did a custom paint job on it, and I think it's the best work I've ever done. I really like the way I got the shading down. I even got his skin shading looking pretty good. He was pretty pale before. I added some shading to his biceps. I mean, it ain't nothing on the level of an SH Figure Arts. But for what I have done, I think I've started to find my rhythm as far as, painting these figures. I ain't perfect by any means, but I'm starting to figure it out. I didn't touch his hair. I did paint his face. And a little review on this figure is, it is amazing. It is a Super Saiyan Goku version 2. Some people may not know what it means by version 2. But when the Dragon Stars released, they of course released a Super Saiyan Goku. But the face on it was so god darn awful. I mean, it was so awful I didn't buy it. I mean, and what's worse is Vegeta looked even worse than Goku. I mean, because Dragon Ball stuff can be pretty expensive, so for a $20 Dragon Ball figure, we accepted it. We accepted it as it was. And I didn't buy that figure. It was so ugly that I didn't want to buy it. But a lot of people did. But they came out with this figure, and the face on it is just perfect. That's Goku. The thing for me that makes it really stand out is that's kind of a thicker eye outline than some of the others. Because if you look at Gogeta here, Gogeta's eyeline ain't that thick. Or what about Vegito? His eyeline's nowhere near that thick. What about this battle damage Super Saiyan Goku I did? No. It's just, his eyeline is a lot thicker, or it may just look that way to me. But I mean, it kind of gives me Majin vibes. It gives me Majin Vegeta vibes. Sorry, I'm showing off my Kaioken Goku there. Majin Vegeta vibes as far as the way the eyes look. But, I mean, look at this. And let me kind of explain the process that I went through. His pants were very light orange. You see this yellowish orangish color here? That's about the same color he was before. No paint on him at all. Like a lot lighter than this Goku even. Almost yellow. His pants were almost yellow. And the Dragon Stars figures have no paint on them. So what I go and do is I took some, instead of black, I did brown. And mixed it with some water, and then I mix it with water, but I also dry the brush off just a tad, and I run that brown all along the creases, and I lay it on thick, well, not thick, but I cover the whole leg. I get that brown in there, and it's not gonna stick, and that's the point of watering it down, is it's not gonna stick perfectly. Just enough is going to stick. And then you take a rag or a piece of tissue or something and dry it up and pick a direction to make your wiping motions. So you can either go up or down, the sides, but you kind of want it to be consistent. I have a vertical brush stroke going on here, which is one of the reasons I think it looks so great. Sorry, my camera work is shoddy, I know. Rona, sorry. But yeah, so I get the brown. I get the brown in there. And then I believe I mixed some orange up. And I didn't have an orange, so I had to make orange. So I took like a vermilion red, or what does it say? Or it just says vermilion. It's a kind of a red color. So I took that and mixed it with yellow, and I ended up with a nice orange color. All I'll say is a lot of yellow to red. You know, don't put a shitload of red in there, especially since you don't need a lot of paint to paint a figure like this. You really don't. You don't need a big glob of paint. You'll need a little bit, but you won't, because you're dry brushing. You don't need to squirt out a whole lot of paint, but more yellow than red. That's if you have to make your orange. All right, so I went and did the same thing. I didn't water it down as much, just a smidge, because I actually wanted it to stick pretty good. So, and then I took orange and cut, and the way I do it is I don't leave the figure assembled when I paint. I take the legs off. I split the torso. I don't take the arms off, but I'll take the head off. Just that's the way I do it. I go limb by limb. Because I'm not perfect, and I'll be painting, and I'll get paint on my fingers, and next thing I know, Goku got the fucking, excuse my language, he has a fudging thumbprint in his eye. So, yeah, so I separate them limb by limb. So I went and took the orange, and I got it evenly, spread through there, and then I took a piece of paper towel. And in the same direction that I did with the brown, I, dry brushed it. Got some of that excess paint off of there. That way your brown still shows through, because you don't want to just cover up that brown that you put down. And then at first I tried just kind of getting some of that orange off to let that orange, the original orange, that really bright yellowish orange that the plastic is colored, shine through. And I did let a little bit of that shine through, but I did end up taking a brush, taking some yellow, and I watered this down even less, and I used more of a dry brushing technique. So I would, take it, put the paint on the brush, and then either on your plate, kind of like how you scribble a pen to get the ink to start, you kind of do that to get the gloppiness out of the paint and get it really into the brushes, so it's a dry stroke, but you get paint down. So you're not making And then in the same direction as the other lines, I had the highlights. It really caught the edges of the creases on his pants really good. I really like the way the downward highlights on his butt. I like that faded look. I will probably go back and put a little more yellow on his top. I imagine it's maybe a little bit more orange. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, and then I did the same thing with the torso. I know I got some smidgen on the sleeve. I'm not perfect. I've always been a little bit messy, no matter how hard I try to clean. That's why none of my figures are perfect, but I take my own artistic liberties. But I'm still contemplating going and putting some either shadow or highlight on the shirt. because it's a rather light blue. I don't know if I want to have light blue highlights or have light blue or dark blue shadows and let this color blue be the highlights. I'll figure that out when I figure that out. Oh, I didn't explain the skin. I'm pretty sure, you can pick it up. But with the skin, I took the same brown that I used on the pants. I didn't go black like I do with some of my other figures. Because I kind of wanted it to blend into the skin tone a little more, while still being pretty prominent. And so I take that brown and I water it down. And water it down, and I put it in the in the creases in his skin. So he got a brown mark on his neck, but that's okay. But I put it in like his chest here, and even his shoulders here, and then the biceps. He doesn't have a whole lot of. It didn't stay as well in the bicep creases because they're a lot more shallow, and I kind of had it pretty wet, but I think it just showed up just enough to be able to show through the skin tone. And as far as skin tone goes, nothing fancy. I didn't make my own skin tone because, believe me, that is the hardest thing in the world to do. But it's literally just flesh. Flesh. But I take that flesh and instead of watering it down, I dry brush it. So I take a dry brush, get the paint on there, and then get the excess off your brush, pack it into the bristles. And then I just paint the skin over, and you do want to keep it, you want to get even coverage, but you want to keep it thin enough to where your shadows in your creases still show through that. They still show through, your flesh. So, and then I did take, a piece of paper towel, get the excess. Sometimes you do gotta go over it a couple of layers, because sometimes that paint doesn't want to stick the first go. But yeah, that's how you do the skin. His face, I painted too. It's not easy to paint his face, but if you can do it with a really fine tip brush and just dry brush it like I do, you can get a very good result. Like I said, honestly, I think this is my best work, and I will show you some of my earlier works to do some comparison. So this is a Vegito. I'm really proud of this. This is one of the first figures I painted. But I added the brown highlights to his hair, and honestly, I think they look amazing. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this in the video, but I snagged some legs from a Goku, much like the one we have here, from actually my the custom Super Saiyan 3 Goku I painted, because I've done so much to his eyes. I painted him black, I painted him white, I tried to make him look good again, I put pin in his eye. I ruined this head. I just did so much with it because the hair was so hard to paint, and it looks good for a little bit, but after a while, I'm going to get a figurize Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because I like the look of that one, and I also like the figurize line. So I'm gonna get that. I will do a review on that if anybody wants it. This is a battle damaged Goku as well, but this is a 3D printed statue I got off the Facebook Marketplace. He was completely filament white, just unpainted filament. And I painted it. It took a lot of paint. It took a lot of paint to get the coverage over that filament, and same techniques that I just told y'all. This is an earlier piece, though. I made it pretty gruesome. I made his legs, I made it gruesome because I do like my figures to look like what would they would really look like if they were fighting the way they fight. They wouldn't just have, hashtags across their chests and little dirt on them. No, they would be bloody. I'm not very proud of the eyes I did on here, but I did the best I could as tiny and fragile or intricate you gotta get in here for this statue. I tried to deburr it the best I could. Sanding it was kind of not an option, but you can see I tried to do some of the earlier versions of the methods I've taught y'all today, but I'm honestly very proud of how this statue came out. I mean, it looks really good. I mean, it was a 3D printed statue. What do you have to say? Is it a Dragon Star? Is it an SA Figure Arts? No, but that's a 3D printed statue I painted all by myself. This is Super Saiyan God Vegeta statue, and I just thought it'd be badass to do the paint, and I really like the way I got the shading on his armor. I think I did really good, creating the 3D effect, even though it is technically 3D, but y'all know what I mean. I'm sorry, I keep going off the figure. I'm getting better at this each video, but I guess I'm backtracking today. But I just wanted him to be covered in blood. Don't worry, none of it is his, because Super Saiyan God Vegeta is my favorite Vegeta. And you may notice I have a distinct lack of Vegeta figures. I am going to change that. Vegeta figures are not very plentiful, I guess, because they got the SH Figure Art ones are ridiculously priced by now. I mean, Figure Eyes has a couple, and the Dragon Star ones just don't look that great. Even the version 2 version, I think he has a really big nose, and I'm just not a fan. This is a perfect cell I painted to go along with my Super Saiyan 2 Goku, or Gohan I painted. They both got each other's blood on them, but he's covered in a lot of blood and goo. His wings are very bloody. I got blood on his face. This one I didn't really particularly try to shade. I just wanted to make him look like he just fought Gohan. And, so that's what I did. I am very proud of this cell. I think the cell looks great. I would love to hear what some of your favorite pieces that I've done are. I mean, I am contemplating, maybe doing my offer, or doing my services for others if anybody truly particularly likes what I do. But honestly, I'm trying to teach y'all how to do it yourselves, and I would love to see what some of y'all are capable of. I got him stand back up. That's amazing. I've told y'all about this figure, but I wanted to go, or statue rather, I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with it for you. This Goku, you can see through just that little tip right there. And back there in that other strand, I missed the spots, I guess. But that's gold. That's like shiny metal, like gold bar gold. And I just didn't like it. I didn't. So I painted the hair, Super Saiyan Blue, and honestly, I do love how this hair turned out. And that's where I was going with that Super Saiyan 3 Goku. It just didn't turn out as good as this did. But he is already battle damaged, so I just took it to the next level. Got the blood, I put more highlight on these pants and the blood, and I got really creative, but I put This kanji on the base, is it perfect? No, but it looks awesome. I mean, it really does. But this was also one of the first pieces I painted, and I mean, in my opinion, it holds a soft spot because it does look dope. If I didn't tell you I painted that, you would probably think maybe it came out like that before you got up close and saw some of the poor painting. But I showed y'all what I did to him the other day. I still think he before this Goku, he was my Carnegie Hall. He was my perfect masterpiece. And he is when I had the click, when it just made sense to me. Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. I bloodied him out. He just got done beating up all the Black Star Dragons, and he is covered in their blood. I'm not the biggest fan of how he turned out. I was when I got him, but I think I went a little too far, but he was also one of the very first pieces I painted. I think I showed y'all Broly. I tried the same technique I did. I did it before this one, but on him, and I didn't get those shadows to really show through, but I did get the skin tone right, or better at least. He looks much better than he did. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I repainted his hair. He is the only Dragon Star figure I think I did a repaint on the hair besides Vegeta over there. But I realized it wasn't worth repainting his hair. But he is just covered in blood and Cell's guts. Like, he should have been in the anime, Let's see. Ooh, let me just show this off to you guys. This is Super Saiyan Broly statue I got today at Barnes & Nobles. It was $35. Only reason I would go into a bookstore is because they have Dragon Ball stuff. But he looks great. I may do a better in-depth review of him. But I just really like this slender Broly, before he goes legendary, of course. And I just thought the statue was perfect, and for that price. This was my masterpiece before today. I did a lot of same techniques. He looks great, don't get me wrong, but I just think I nailed it on the other Goku. But he looks amazing. I think I told you all about him. I painted the orbs and redid the hair because it was a dark translucent green. But I snagged his base for this Broly. So he has a super glued straw with a piece of plastic from one of my figurized models holding him up. But he is secure. And I showed y'all this the other day, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku I painted the hair on today. But I believe that's all the figures I've painted. But I think you can tell I've come a long way in my techniques because I nailed it, I think. I would be very surprised if anyone told me I didn't. Alright, I would love to see what y'all can try to do. If y'all actually want a video, I may try to, but look how poorly I'm already recording. That'll be in my excuse. But, yeah, tell me what you think of this figure. Tell me what you think of my paint job. I would love to hear from some of you. Not many of you watching yet, but you will. And have a wonderful night. SSJP Customs out.